Hello and welcome to this live webinar. Thank you so much for joining me. We should be live, but let me just check that everything is working okay. Could you do me a favor and let me know in the chat that you can hear me, that you can see me, and everything is working okay? And then we'll get going in a couple of minutes. And thank you so much for joining me live. We have more than 1,000 people who've joined live already. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Friday and will definitely help you with your IELTS writing today. So can you just let me know in the chat that you can hear me, that you can see me, and we'll get going in about 30 seconds. Let me just check with my team to make sure that everything is working okay, because I don't want to start the lesson if we have any technical problems. Excellent. Thank you very much for letting me know. Seems like everything is working okay. So let's get going. If you have any problems, guys, we have members of our team who are monitoring the chat. So if you have any problems, like the problem with the video or the audio, just let them know in the comments and they'll try and help you with it. But 9 times out of 10, if you have any technical problems, it's either just a problem with your browser, so you can just refresh your browser or use a different browser, or your internet might be a little bit too slow. So try and plug in your internet or be as close to your Wi-Fi and have the best Wi-Fi connection, because it is a live lesson. If you're watching the replay of this, please do watch everything. Don't just skip through, because everything that we teach you today is important. And if you miss something, you might fail your test if you miss something, and that's what we want to avoid. If you're watching the replay or watching the live, the replays will only be available for 24 hours, and then we will delete everything just to make sure that everyone does actually watch it. And where are you watching from, guys? Let me know in the comments where you guys are watching from. It's always interesting to see who is joining us. I think we have people from nearly every country in the world. We have nearly 2,000 people. So thank you so much, guys. One common question that I've seen in the comments is, how long will this take? It will take more than an hour, probably around an hour and a half to get through everything. But it takes quite a long time, but it is, a lot less time consuming than going and failing the test. So a lot of good stuff, and all of it is important. All right, it looks like we have people from pretty much every corner of the world. You're all very, very welcome. And let's get started. So just going to share my screen with you. And then we should be able to see that. Just let me check with my team that you can see that. You should be able to see that it says IELTS Writing Band 9 Strategy Session, 4 simple changes to improve your essays to Band 7, 8, or 9. Let's see, all clear, no complaints so far. So I think we can get going. Okay, so here's what you will discover today in this lesson. How successful students quickly and easily think of ideas. How one simple structure guarantees you will write an effective essay. I'm going to help you identify and fix all of the grammar mistakes you don't even know you're making, and understand what Band 9 vocabulary looks like and how to start using it in your essay immediately. So these are the 4 key things that we're going to focus on today. So my goal for you is to make the writing process a lot simpler and help you get a Band 7, 8, or 9 in your next IELTS writing test. Even if you failed the test before, especially if you have failed to get the score that you need, this session is really going to help you identify where you went wrong. So if you got a band 5.5, 6, 6.5, one thing that I would encourage you to do is note down the things that I say that are different from what you did last time, because that's going to show you where you went wrong and how to improve in the future. And we're not going to really focus on improving your general level of English. We're going to show you how to use your existing grammar, your existing vocabulary to get the score that you need. And we're not going to teach you any tricks or hacks or shortcuts. That's not my style of teaching, because they simply don't work. And those things get a lot of clicks and a lot of views on YouTube. But my goal is to help you improve your score, not to get as many clicks and likes and subscribers on YouTube. We're going to reveal the simple formula that has led to my VIP students achieving more Band 7, 8, and 9 success stories than any other course, school, or teacher in the world. So, all of this is built on success. None of this is my opinion. This is what we've been doing with our VIP students for more than 10 years. So, we know what works, we know what doesn't work. We're just going to teach you the good stuff that does work. We're going to show you that IELTS is an extremely simple test that is far easier to pass than you think. So, my goal is that at the end of this session, you will have a lot more confidence because you will have gone from right now, you think this is a very difficult test, you think that it's really complicated. I'm going to show you that the opposite is true, that it's actually very, very simple. We're also going to give you a bonus gift if you complete this webinar. So we like to help people who help themselves. If you stay until the end, you will get a gift. It is an exclusive PDF download that includes a summary of all the key lessons that we teach you in case you miss anything, a Band 9 structure, practice exercises so that you can practice the things that we teach you today, and targeted feedback so that you can do the exercises, write your essays, and then give yourself feedback, which is very, very powerful and will save you a huge amount of money that teachers cost to give you feedback. And we're also going to give you a sample essay or more than one sample essay from real VIP students that have got a Band 7, 8, and 9 in the real test. But only those that complete the session will get this free gift. So you have to watch the whole thing to get the free gift because we only want to help people who help themselves. So just one thing, guys, one favor that I would like to ask you. Whenever we do these live webinars and we offer these free gifts, a lot of students are quite rude. Not all of you, but like 1% of students, all they do in the comments is, where's my free gift? Where's the PDF? I want you to imagine I invite you to my home for dinner and I give you dinner for free. Would you at the end of the dinner go, where is the dessert? Where is the coffee? I want tea. That is extremely rude. All right. So please don't do that. It's our pleasure to help you for free. But if you start demanding things and demanding that we give you things in the comments, we'll just remove you from the stream. We don't care how many likes or subscribers or anything like that. We care about helping the students that actually want help and want to be respectful and be polite. So just a little warning there. We do have people monitoring the comments. All right, guys. So does this actually work? So before you listen to anybody, including me, you should ask them, prove to me that this stuff actually worked. Does this stuff work? Because your next IELTS score is going to determine what country you live in, what country your children live in, what language your children speak, what job you do in the future, how much money you make in the future, your overall quality of life. Your next IELTS score is extremely important for your future. So you shouldn't listen to anyone, including me, unless they know what they're doing and they can prove to you that what they're teaching you actually does work. Well, we've more Band 7, 8, and 9 success stories than any other IELTS course or school in the world. Not just more, 10 times more. And this is a fact that anyone can check. You can go to our website and look at these. These are real interviews with real students. We have 10 times more than anyone else. We are successful because our students are successful. We are not successful because of how many likes or subscribers or viewers that we get. We are successful because we focus on success. And we'll demonstrate many parts of our VIP system to you today. So just so you know that we're not just making this up, you can go to our website, IELTSadvantage.com, and you will find the largest number of one-on-one interviews with real students who really got a Band 7, 8, or 9. No other IELTS course, school in the entire world has this number. We have 10 times more than anyone else because we just focus on success. Not only do we have more videos, We have more thank you notes. All of these students are at a band 7, 8, and 9. We have more than anyone else, 10 times more. So the reason why I'm showing you this is not to show off, it is to give you the confidence that what we're going to teach you actually works. Because we're going to teach you things that are the complete opposite of what you will find on what your favorite YouTuber says or your teacher in your local school says. So when you teach people things that are completely different from before, most people won't actually listen to you unless you show proof. So we're showing you proof that you next time you do the test, if you follow our system, you will probably get the score that you need. Okay, so that's enough introductory stuff. Let's get into the real lessons. Okay, so at the end of this lesson, I'm going to show you two quotes from this man. This is Michael Jordan. What we're going to do is show you that this quote is true. Success leaves clues. If you study very, very successful people, they normally show you how they did it. They leave clues, they leave evidence. And Michael Jordan said something at the end of his career. He was asked, "Why were you so successful?" And he said this thing that not only explains how you can be successful in basketball, but exactly how you can be successful in the IELTS test. And I love this quote about Michael Jordan. You can argue that Michael Jordan was as good at his job as anyone has ever been at their job ever in anything. And I actually agree with that quote. And even if you don't agree, you have to agree that he was extremely good at his job. And the quote that I'll share with you at the end of this lesson will show you exactly what to do with your IELTS preparation. So we're going to focus on four things. And these are the four things that the examiners are going to think about when they're looking at your essay. They'll be thinking about your ideas. Did you answer the question? They'll be thinking about your structure. Did you organize your essay in a way that makes it easy to understand? They'll be looking at your grammar and they'll be looking at your vocabulary. These are the only four things that the examiners think about. So that's what we're going to focus on. Let's focus on the first thing first, which is your ideas. Let's start off with a little test. So I want you to contribute in the comments. I'm going to ask you some questions just to test your existing knowledge of ideas and how to generate ideas in the IELTS test. If you've seen this before, don't spoil it for the rest of the students, all right? If you've played this little game before. So I want you to look at this question. In many cities, people are living alone. What are the reasons for it? Is this a positive or negative development? I want you just to focus on the first question here. What are the reasons for it? Think of one idea for the first question, one reason, and tell me what it is in the comments. I'll give you 10 seconds to do that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys, let's see. So, money, jobs, costs, cost of living, sense of freedom because they're not married, jobs, study to become independent, education, work, privacy because they don't want to bother anyone. Okay, so looking at your ideas, about 80% of you think it's because they want a better job or more money or better education or something like that. About 80% of you. Let's look at the most common ideas that you guys are giving, because every time I do this, the ideas are exactly the same. Let's see how you did. Let's see if you're correct or not. Okay. So about 80% of you said one of these ideas in orange. Better job opportunities, better education or health to earn more money, better prospects, or better government services like health, education, things like that. About 20% of you gave very different ideas. You said to be free and independent, privacy, fewer distractions, or don't have to worry about housemates or don't have to worry about family. One group of you is correct and one group of you is wrong. What I want you to do is, again, in the comments, who is correct? Left. So if you think the orange ones are correct, I want you to write left. And if you think the black ones, right, right. Okay, so if you think left is correct, these ones, write left. If you think the right ones are correct, write right. Let's have a look. So right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay. You sound like a soldier marching. So now it's gone from about 80% to about 50-50. All right, so a lot of you have changed your mind. Let's see who's correct and who is wrong, because one of you is completely correct, another is completely wrong. Let's have a look. So what we need to do always is look at the question. In many cities, people are living alone. So what is this question about? Is this why people move to cities or why people live alone in cities? The question is about people already living in cities are deciding to live alone in those cities. So if you gave one of these, you are completely wrong because you're answering the wrong question. People move to cities for better job opportunities and better education and better health to earn more money. That's correct. But they don't live alone for these reasons. People live alone to be free and independent, for privacy, for fewer distractions, don't have to worry about housemates or don't have to worry about family. So the key lesson here is if you have no idea what the question means, how will you be able to think of relevant ideas and answer the question properly? 80% of you would not get a 7, 8, or 9 for that question because 80% of you fail at the first hurdle. You didn't even understand the question. Now, I'm not doing this to be mean. I'm doing this to open your eyes and help you realize that you need to follow the systems, the steps that we're going to teach you. Because when you say to students, you don't read the question properly, you don't understand the question, most of them say, no, I'm smart enough, I'll do that. That's easy. It's not. Most students do not do that. So let's focus on how to analyze and understand the question first. And then we'll think about how to generate ideas. Because you can't generate ideas until you answer and understand the question. So the first thing is take the time to actually read and think about the question. None of you are stupid, all right? It's not an intelligence problem. The problem that you have is you don't take the time to actually read the question and think about the question. Because you're under a lot of pressure on test day, you want to do things as quickly as possible, but you need to do this. These questions are designed to be simple and easy to understand. Believe me, I have spoken with the people at Cambridge who design and write these questions. They spend a lot of time trying to make them simple. The problem is not the question. The problem is the students make them complicated. Do not overcomplicate this. All right, we'll talk a lot about this in this session. But I work with a lot of doctors. Doctors are some of the most intelligent people in the world. And often they will really struggle with IELTS writing task 2 because they overcomplicate the question. And I think this is because doctors have spent years studying very complex things and doing lots of exams and lots of tests that require complex answers. IELTS is the opposite. All right. They're not testing how smart you are or how intelligent you are. They're testing your ability to clearly communicate in English, which means simplifying your ideas. You have to learn to crawl before you walk. All right. So I have a little boy, he's 2 years old. He didn't start walking until a few months ago, but he focused on crawling. You have to learn how to crawl and then walk and then run. What many of you are doing is you're trying to run by trying to think of complex ideas and advanced idea generation strategies when no one has taught you how to crawl and how to walk. I know many of you want me to give you the really complex stuff and show you how to do very complicated stuff. For 99% or more of students, it's about simplifying things. It's about understanding the question, not about overcomplicating the question and giving complex ideas. So, what we do with our VIP students, one of the reasons why they're so successful is we give them step-by-step systems to solve any problem. All right. So if you have a problem with understanding the question, all you have to do is follow this system. Number one, what does the question mean? Most of you didn't give the correct answer to that question because you didn't understand the meaning of the question. Number two, what is the general topic? You want to understand the general topic so you do not write about it. You do not write about the general topic. So many of you gave answers such as people move to cities for better jobs, make more money, better prospects, because you're talking generally about the topic of living in cities. That's not what the IELTS Task 2 requires you to do. It requires you to think about the specific things they want you to write about, not the general topic. And then four, what are the things they want you to do? Do they want you to give your opinion or discuss other people's opinions? Do they want you to talk about the advantages and disadvantages or problems and solutions? They tell you exactly what they want to do, but most IELTS students don't do those things. Again, they're making it easy for you, but most people overcomplicate it. And it's my job just to simplify everything for you. So let's apply this four-step system to a real question. In many cities, people are living alone. What are the reasons for it? Is this a positive or negative development? What does the question mean? So what the question means is it's people living in cities are already living there and they're deciding to live alone. What is the general topic? The general topic is about living in a city. We're not going to write about that. What we're going to write about is the specific things, which is why do people live alone? And what are the things they want me to do? Well, they want you to say why. Why do people do that? What are the reasons for it? And is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Is it positive or is it negative? So once you simplify everything, it becomes much, much easier then to go on to the next step, which is generating ideas and then write your essay because you've just made everything much, much simpler. I know what it's about and I know what they want me to do in very simple terms. This is the exact opposite to what most students do, which is look at the question, let's just write everything that we know and throw it onto the paper and hope that we get a good examiner who gives us a high score. That's what we call a shotgun approach. A shotgun approach is where you think about a shotgun. You use a shotgun to shoot and hope that you hit something. Spread very, very wide. We teach our students to be snipers, not use shotguns. So now that we've fully understood the question, we can now think of relevant ideas. Again, learn to crawl, then walk, then run. All right, so we've learned how to crawl. Now let's learn how to walk before we run. So we first need to understand the biggest problem with idea generation. You'll hear me talk a lot about this. Instead of me teaching you what to do, I will first teach you what not to do because it's impossible to help someone if they're doing the wrong thing without showing them that wrong thing. So please don't think I'm being negative or wasting your time. You will see far more improvement by stopping the bad things than you will from starting the good things. So what's the problem with idea generation? If you make this mistake that more than 80% of students make, you will struggle to ever think of good ideas. There is a much, much easier way than this way. So one thing that we're obsessed with at IELTS Advantage is understanding the big struggles that students have, the big problems, so that we can eliminate those problems. Excuse me. So every VIP student that joins, we ask them, what is your number one struggle? And we've helped thousands of students over the last 10 years because we want to understand what the problems are and then we can fix them. So we've been asking students this question, what's your number one struggle, for years. And the data is quite clear. Always at the top of the list, students worry about idea generation. What do nearly all teachers, schools, and YouTube gurus teach? What is the number one most popular technique? If you look at an IELTS book or look at a YouTube channel or go into your local IELTS school, what do most of them teach? Write it in the comments. What do most of them teach for idea generation? So the most popular thing is something called brainstorming. I want you to think about a very important question. If idea generation is the number one problem and all teachers have the same solution, why is it still a problem? Let me repeat that because it's very important. If idea generation is the number one problem and all teachers have the same solution, why is it still a problem? The problem is the teaching method, not the student. Because if all students have this problem, but there is a very, very common technique for solving it, and students continue to have this problem is not the student. The problem is the teacher and the teaching method. So why do IELTS teachers do this? Why do IELTS teachers insist on teaching you something that doesn't work? Well, when I started at a new school, I was shocked at how teachers prepared for lessons. So I've worked in some of the best IELTS schools in the world, but it was quite shocking when you went into a teacher's room how most teachers prepared. When a teacher is preparing for a lesson, let's say they're preparing for a lesson to teach you about idea generation, how do you think they prepare for that lesson? In the comments, let me know what you think, and we'll have a look at what most of you think is happening and then show you what actually is happening. So 10 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's have a look. So Donna says they don't prepare. In the schools that I worked in, like the British Council, they do prepare, but in most schools they don't. Um, they brainstorm. No, they don't brainstorm. From past experience, most of the teachers teaching you are not very experienced. They read, they copy, see if anyone's got the correct. They plan. Most don't plan. See if anyone's got the correct one. Someone's got it. They Google it. Yes, they Google it. So if they have a class at 1 p.m., they will come in at 12:45 and Google how to teach IELTS idea generation. So if the people that they are Googling, the people that they are reading, if they're doing a good job, then there's no problem. But if they are copying people who don't know what they're doing, and most people teaching IELTS on YouTube do not know what they're doing, then there is a huge, huge problem because you have someone who doesn't know what they're doing, and then the next person copies them, and then the person after that copies them, and then the person after that copies them. And if you think that that's not true, then again, ask yourself the question, idea generation is the number one problem. Why is it still a problem if everyone agrees that the solution is brainstorming? The problem is not the student, it is the teaching method. Let's have a look and see why they do that. My mouse is not working properly. There we go. So they didn't ask the simple question, does this actually help students? If they ask themselves that question, then they wouldn't teach something that doesn't work. So you get the blind leading the blind, making things even more complex. So you get someone copying someone who doesn't know what they're doing, the blind leading the blind. The reason why I'm showing you this picture is like I'm taking my little boy for a walk here. Beside is a lake. Here is a river. There's very dangerous things. There's a big tall wall. He wants to go and jump in the river and jump in the lake and climb on the wall. Would you let a 7-year-old do whatever they want to do? No, I'm taking him by the hand and making sure that he doesn't do the wrong thing. That's what your teacher should be doing. Instead, it's like the kids are in charge. Why do schools not care about this? Why does the owner of the school not go in and say to the teachers, why are you teaching stuff that doesn't help the students? Because there is no incentive to actually help you. They want to make it complicated. Because if it's complicated and they don't help you, what happens? You go and fail the test, and then you come back to that school and they say, well, you should do another class. You should do a higher level class. Give us more money. It is their business model is not to help you. Because if they help you get the IELTS score that you need, you will never give them any more money. Think about it. If a school helps you get the score that you need, will you ever give them more money? No. So the owners of the school do not care that the teachers don't know what they're doing and are teaching you things that don't work. So what did I do? I did something that nobody has done before. I asked the students. I asked them, how do you feel when you are brainstorming? How do you feel? In the comments, when you are brainstorming, how do you feel? What emotions are going through your head when you are brainstorming? Think about it and put it in the comments. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Confusion, stressed, pressured, nervous, anxious, overwhelmed, blanked, complicated, panic. So you have all of these negative emotions. Why would you teach something that causes stress and panic and worry and overwhelm and it doesn't work? I could understand if teachers were teaching something that did work and it caused a lot of stress. I can understand that. But I cannot understand teachers teaching something that causes stress and doesn't work. So you need to think very clearly about who you are spending your time with and who you are giving your money to, because the people that you are giving your money to may not want you to pass the test, because if they do, you will not give them any more money. Be very careful about that. And then also be very careful with people who rely on YouTube to pay their bills, because they're not necessarily going to teach you stuff that works. They're going to teach you stuff that you like. They're going to teach you tips and tricks and shortcuts, because those things get a lot of views on YouTube. Teaching you things that work, it's actually very boring and most students don't like it. So that's why they don't teach it. So you need to be very careful who you are listening to. So there's a much better way of generating ideas than brainstorming. First of all, there is no such thing as an impressive idea or a high level idea or a band 9 idea. You will see lots of YouTube videos saying band 9 ideas or how to generate high level ideas. There's no such thing. They do not exist. Ask anyone who is really an examiner, who really knows what they're doing. There is no such thing as a band 9 idea. Believe me, we have more than 10 former IELTS examiners, each with at least 10 years of experience working for IELTS Advantage. They all agree that there's no such thing as band 9 ideas. So stop making things more difficult than they need to be and just keep it simple. So, a much better way is you do this by thinking of simple, straightforward, obvious ideas, not complex, high level, band nine ideas. Simple, straightforward, obvious. These are going to be relevant. This is the most important thing when it comes to ideas. Are they relevant? What does relevant mean? It means, does it answer the question? It's easy to understand. Why do you write things? You write things so that someone can understand what you are writing. The simpler your ideas, the easier they are to understand. Easy to think of. You only have maybe 1 or 2 minutes to think of ideas. If you are focusing on the most complex idea, then it will take you a very long time. If you are trying to think of the simplest idea, then it will take you literally less than 1 second, and we'll show you that in a minute. Quick, so it's quick to think of and easy to write about. Your ideas, why are you using ideas? You are using ideas so that you can write about those ideas. If the ideas are so complex that you don't have anything to write about, or it takes you a very long time to think about it, then those ideas are useless. But the simple, straightforward ideas are very easy to write about, easy to understand, easy to think of, quick to think of, and are relevant. Let's give you an example. Okay. I'm going to use this example because everyone knows about it. All right. Apologies if you are negatively impacted by this topic. I chose this topic because everybody knows about it. So I want you to read this question, and I want you to think about the second question here in orange. What is the best way to stop it? I don't want you to write anything. Don't worry about writing in the comments. I want you just to think about it. Write it down if you have a pen and pencil. So I'm going to give you a few better ways than brainstorming. First way, simply ask yourself those questions directly and give the most obvious answer, excuse me. What is the best way to stop it? Ask yourself that question. What's the most obvious answer? You probably thought of an answer in less than 1 second. And that answer is probably extremely relevant, easy to understand, easy to think about, and easy to write about. If you can't think of that, imagine you are talking to your friend. Imagine your friend says, I need to solve this problem. What advice would you give your friend? You probably would not think of a very complex way of solving this problem. You would give them the easiest, simplest, most effective way. Or imagine you can ask 100 people. Imagine you're on the streets of London or New York today, and you're interviewing people, and you ask 100 people how to solve this problem. What would be the most common answer? What would be the most popular answer? The most common answer is normally the simplest, most straightforward, most obvious answer. Just these three techniques, and we have many, many other techniques that we give our VIP students, but these are the three simplest ones. These simplify the whole idea generation process. You don't need to draw a bubble in the middle of a page and brainstorm 20 different ideas. That is a waste of time. It will cause a lot of stress, and you will generate mostly irrelevant ideas. You are doing the opposite of what generates simple, relevant ideas quickly and easily. And many of you might be thinking this is too simple. The solution to every IELTS problem is simple. Many of you want like complex solutions. I don't have any because I only teach you things that work. I'm not going to waste your time trying to impress you with tips and tricks that don't work. So the VIP laser idea generation method, simply take the question and focus on answering that question. Once you have laser focus, you'll generate an idea at the speed of light in less than 1 second. That's why we call it the laser idea generation process. This idea will be simple, obvious, straightforward, easy to understand, and easy to write about. And if you look at 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 different questions and you apply this technique, you won't even have to think about this on test day. So you'll make it a habit. You will make it part of who you are. It'll just become natural, innate. And if you look at our success stories, for example, this one, how I scored band 8.5, 5.5 to 7, 6.5 to 7, how I went from 6.5 to 7 in just 10 days, how I scored 8,777, how I scored band 7 in IELTS Reading. All of them will tell you I was doing very complicated, complex things, and then I did simple things, and then I was able to get the score that I needed. So, for example, this student from India, she was getting a 6.5 over and over again because in her local school, the local teacher was telling her that she needed to brainstorm fancy and impressive ideas, that was the key to getting a high score. Her grammar was great, her vocabulary was great, her writing was great. The only reason why she was getting 6.5 was this unqualified teacher who didn't know what they were doing, that were Googling stuff before they went into the classroom and copying YouTubers that didn't know what they were doing. That's the reason why she kept getting 6.5. We were able to help her get a 7 in 10 days by telling her, stop thinking of complex ideas. Just think of the simplest, most straightforward one. And she was then able to move. I think she moved to Canada, has a better life, earns more money, just by doing one simple thing, and stop doing complicated things and listening to people that don't know what they're doing. Step 2. So we've looked at ideas. That's the first part of the marking criteria. Did you understand the question, and did you answer the question? Next, we're going to look at structure, the second thing that the examiner is thinking about. So I want you to read this example. Again, I'm going to continue with this question because it's just easy to teach you this because everyone understands it. All right. So I want you just to read this question. Don't write anything in the comments. Just read it and think about it for about 10 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I want you now to use your imagination. All right, I'm going to teach you about structure, but instead of just giving you this structure, if I just give you the structure, you won't think about it. All right, and you won't understand the why. Okay, I'm not just going to teach you the how, I'm going to teach you the why. Why do we use this structure? So I want you to use your imagination a little bit. Imagine someone has been in a coma. They've been asleep since 2018, and they wake up in their hospital bed in 2020. We all know what happened in 2020. You need to explain the big thing that is happening in 2020. So they wake up and they're like, well, what's happening? Has anything changed since 2018? What would you say? You would probably say something like this. This is the biggest issue the world currently faces. It spreads rapidly because people infect others unknowingly. And the best way to stop this is through this method. So you would introduce the problem and you would introduce how the world is trying to solve this problem. If you told them that, would they understand you? So again, they're waking up from being asleep for 2 years, 3 years. Would the person understand you? No, they wouldn't understand you. You would probably need to go into more detail. So you've introduced the issue, you've introduced the main ideas, but in order to help the person understand what's going on, you would need to go into detail. So for example, they might say something like, people who have no symptoms can spread this without knowing they're doing so. This means that a very large number of people are becoming infected whilst being unaware they have a problem, and then these newly infected people spread it to even more people. It is not until several days later that they start to develop these symptoms, and by this time it is too late to stop the number of cases growing exponentially, getting out of control. So you've explained what the main idea means, and then you're going to give an example to help them understand even more. For example, Italy was one of the first countries to be badly affected because of this, and they've been transmitting for many weeks before the health service started to come under pressure, and by then it was too late. So you've explained the main idea, and then you've given an example. Now, what the person would probably say now is, oh my God, this is terrible. How can we stop this? How can we prevent this from happening even more? You would probably explain in detail how to stop it. The best way to stop this is to maintain social distancing. This means that people should avoid coming in contact with one another as much as possible. You're explaining what that means to the person. As this spreads to the air and droplet and surfaces, and the fewer interactions people have, the less chance they have of spreading it. Then you would give another example. The UK government did this thing. You're explaining what this thing means and then giving an example of this thing. Would the person understand you? No, they would probably say, okay, can you repeat that? Can you explain that again? Can you summarize that? Sure. Here's my summary of what's happening. This is what happened in 2020, spread throughout the entire world. Here's why, and here's what we're doing to prevent that. So, what did we just do there? We weren't talking about that problem. We were talking about a structure. Paragraph 1, we introduced the topic and the main ideas. That's all we did in paragraph 1, our introduction. Paragraph 2, we explained the first idea in detail to help them understand it. Paragraph 3, we took the second idea and we explained it in detail. And then paragraph 4, we summarized the main points to help the person understand. Your structure does not need to be any more complicated than that. In fact, your introduction gives you the entire structure. So, remember we talked about the why? Why do we use this structure? The reason why we use this structure is to help the person reading it understand clearly what we think about this topic. This structure helps the reader, and it helps you clearly explain to the reader what you think about that question. And then the first paragraph gives us the entire structure. So using our simple introduction to simplify the essay writing process. So paragraph 1, the introduction, in black here, the first sentence in black, we introduce the topic. The second sentence, the first part in light blue, our first main idea, we're introducing the first main idea. That's why it's called an introduction. We're introducing it. And then in darker blue, we're introducing the second idea. So what is paragraph 2, our first main body, going to be about? It is going to be about the first main idea. What is the second main body paragraph? Paragraph number 3, it's going to be about the second idea. And then paragraph 4 is simply a summary of your introduction. What is your introduction? It's just your main ideas. What is a conclusion? It's a summary of your main ideas. So what we do with our VIP students is we focus about 80% of our time on helping them write a good introduction. Because if you nail the introduction, if you become very, very good at writing introductions, which is very easy if you follow this technique, the rest of your essay just writes itself. You know exactly what to write about and how to structure it. So don't worry, we will give you the full structure in a lot more detail, like sentence by sentence, in the PDF gift at the end of this lesson, if you complete this lesson. So before we move on to step 3, as you've seen, IELTS is a very simple test. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. We have more Band 7, 8, and 9 students than any other course or school in the world, and we've 10 former examiners, and they all agree, all of those successful students and all of those examiners all say, keep it simple. Success leaves clues. Certain schools and gurus want to make it more complicated. Why do you think that is? Why do you think there's so many IELTS gurus on YouTube telling you that IELTS is unfair, it's really complicated, so many people fail, this question is really difficult? Why do you think that they do that? Because it's easier to sell you things when you are confused and when you are desperate. If they can spread fear and tell you that it's very, very complicated and everyone fails and it's really, really complicated, then you will give them money, because what they say is it's really complicated, but I have this special magic solution. That con, that scam is as old as people, all right, as old as humanity. Throughout history, the oldest trick in the book, the oldest scam is, here's a really complicated thing, but I have a secret that will solve this complicated thing. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. It's actually very, very simple. All you have to do is just follow people who actually know what they're doing. Now, many of you will, because you have watched hundreds of YouTube videos taught by people who don't know what they're doing, you will think that the techniques that we're teaching you are too simple. I want you to read this quote. The bird born in a cage thinks flying is an illness. The bird born in a cage thinks flying is an illness. When somebody shows you how simple something is, after you've watched hundreds of hours of people telling you that it's really complicated and they have the secret magic formula, then you will think that doing something simple is wrong. And again, don't believe me. You might think, oh, this teacher, he just wants us to, believe him. Don't believe me. Believe real students. 6.5 to 7 in IELTS, 8,777, Band 8, 6.5 to 8.5, Band 6 to 8. How I passed IELTS writing after failing 10 times. Guess what he was doing 10 times? Watching YouTube. For example, Ruchika, I'm probably mispronouncing her name, I apologize. Her local teachers were teaching her memorize these complex grammar structures and insert these complex grammar structures into your essay. And she was failing over and over and over again. We said, you don't need that, just simplify everything. Then she got 8,777 and she moved to Canada. Don't believe me, believe real students. So we've solved our ideas problem. We've solved our structure problem. Now let's solve the third thing that your examiner will be looking at, which is grammar. And the problem with grammar is most of you are making mistakes. You're not even aware that you're making them. Because if you were aware of those mistakes, you wouldn't make those mistakes. That's why grammar is very insidious. So instead of just teaching you lots of stuff about grammar, I'm going to teach you about the Pareto principle, which will explain why you have problems with grammar and why you have problems in your life in general. So Pareto was a 19th century Italian economist. What can a 19th century Italian economist teach us about IELTS grammar? Everything about IELTS grammar. Not just about grammar, but exactly why you are failing the IELTS test, or why you will probably fail it multiple times if you don't do the right thing, and how to fix it. Now, the Pareto principle is also known as the 80-20 principle. Many of you will have heard of this before. Pareto observed that 80% of Italy's wealth, 80% of the money in Italy, belonged to 20% of the population. Walking through his garden, he observed that a small number of plants produced nearly all of the peas. So a small number of people were producing most of the wealth, and a small number of plants were producing most of the peas. And he started to notice this principle everywhere. 80% of crimes are caused by 20% of criminals. 80% of traffic accidents are caused by 20% of drivers. 80% of pollution comes from 20% of factories. 80% of sales in a company comes from 20% of a company's products. 20% of employees are responsible for 80% of the results. If you don't believe that, Elon Musk recently got rid of 80% of the employees and Twitter got better. 20% of students have grades 80% or higher. And the Pareto principle is a prediction that 80% of effects come from 20% of causes. Now, it's not always exactly 80-20. Sometimes it's 95-5, sometimes it's 90-10, sometimes it's 70-30. But a large percentage of effects come from a small percentage of causes. You'll see that everywhere in the universe. So what does this have to do with IELTS grammar? A small number of grammar areas cause a very large number of grammar mistakes. So if you think of all the different areas of grammar, articles, prepositions, subject-verb agreement, punctuation, tenses, there are many areas of grammar. Grammar books are some of the biggest, thickest, most boring books in the world because there are lots of different areas of grammar. But only a small number of those areas actually cause a problem. It is highly unlikely that you need to work on all areas of grammar. Doing that makes everything more difficult. Improving your grammar is a waste of time and is ineffective. But if you go to your local English school and you say, I have a problem with grammar, they will try and give you a big, thick grammar book and tell you that you need to do a very long, like 16-week course on grammar. That's a waste of time. That would be like getting a new car if you have a flat tire. So I have a new car. If the tire is bust, do I go and buy a new car? No, I change the tire. Identify the issue and fix the issue. If I have a problem with my car, what part of my car do I need to fix? I don't throw away my car and buy a new one. Exactly the same principle with grammar. If you have a problem with grammar, identify the problem area and then fix that problem area. You will see a dramatic improvement in a very short space of time. So how can you do that? If you have a health problem, you go to a doctor. If you have a sore tooth, you go to a dentist. If I have a problem with my website, I hire a software developer. I own one of the most popular IELTS websites in the world, but I'm a complete idiot when it comes to website development. I'm completely useless. If I have a problem with my website, I don't go and set up a new website. I hire a software developer who is an expert and they fix it. When my car breaks down, I don't go onto YouTube and try and figure out how to fix my own car. That would be idiotic. That would be extremely time consuming when there are people in this world with 30, 40 years experience fixing cars. Why not hire an expert? Why should IELTS grammar and IELTS in general be any different? Most students not only don't go to the doctor or don't go to the dentist, they go to the hospital and ask the sick people who don't know anything about medicine, to fix their problems. And this is why I started IELTS Advantage. I was working for one of the biggest IELTS schools in the world, and they were wasting their students' time and getting very average results. The reason why they were wasting the students' time was most students didn't have 50 different problems. They had 1, 2, or 3 problems. So this school, how it made its money was through 12-week courses. So if you went and you needed help with IELTS, they taught you everything about IELTS for 12 weeks. They taught you about listening if you didn't need help with listening. They taught you about reading if you didn't need help with reading. They taught you about how to write introductions if you didn't need any help with that. So that meant that they didn't spend any time on the things that students really needed help with. So I redesigned their whole IELTS writing course to just focus on individual problems and individual errors, and it increased results dramatically. Because I did this not by thinking like a teacher, instead thinking like everyone else in the world. Find a problem, fix the problem. If you're a doctor, you find the problem and you fix the problem. If you're a mechanic, you find the problem and you fix the problem. If you're a lawyer, you find the problem and you fix the problem. If you're a teacher, you say to someone, oh, you need to go and read lots of books and do a very long course. That is completely useless most of the time, especially for IELTS. So you have a choice. Figure out your own problems and try and fix them yourself. This is cheap in the short term, but it will take a very long time and cost you more long term, not only in money, but in time and stress. This is what 90% of IELTS students do, because this is, go and look at free stuff on the internet. Or you can use an expert with a proven system that has helped more people get the scores they need than anyone else in the world. You could use that, but most of you won't because it costs money, and most of you won't pay money to fix your problem. But which one have you tried in the past? Most of you have tried option number 1. If it worked, you wouldn't be watching this video. It didn't work. So maybe try option number 2. So for example, this student who got 8, she didn't know what her grammar mistakes were. What did we do? We went in, looked at her essays and said, here are your grammar issues. Fix these 2 grammar issues, which were articles and punctuation. Her articles and punctuation were causing 80-90% of her mistakes. She fixed those issues. She got a band 8. Same with this guy, 6.5 to 7, 7 on first attempt, 7 overall, 8,777, band 6 to 7. How did we do it? What's your problem? Fix your problem. Get the score that you need. Far more effective than watching gurus on YouTube. So we've fixed our 3 biggest issues. Now focus on the last one, which is probably the most misunderstood area, which is vocabulary. So first I want you to look at this, which is the CEFR. The CEFR is the Common European Framework of Reference. You don't need to know what that means. All you need to know is this is your English level. A1 is complete beginner. B1 is kind of intermediate. B2, intermediate. C1 and C2 is advanced. Okay, so A1, beginner. C2, like native English speaker level. And this corresponds to the IELTS levels here. So if you're B1, probably going to get 5, 5.5. If you're B2, you're probably going to get 6, 6.5, maybe a 7 if you're lucky. And if you're C1, C2, should be getting around 7.5 to 8.5, something like that. Now, what a lot of teachers teach you and what a lot of students believe is if you use lots of C2 and C1 words, you will get a high score in IELTS. Because every word in the English language is categorized by A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. So there are beginner words, words that English beginners know. There are intermediate words, words that only intermediate students know how to use. And then there are advanced words, words that only advanced learners of English know how to use. So the common theory amongst most IELTS gurus and IELTS students is the more advanced words I use, the higher my score. Is this actually true? So the first thing I want you to do is have a look at this student. This is a real student. I want you to look at their essay for about 20 or 30 seconds. And then I want you to write in the comments, what score would you give this for vocabulary? About 20 seconds, and then write the score for vocabulary in the comments. Okay, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's see. 5, 6, 7, 7.5, 7, 6, 4. Someone gave it a 3. Someone's complaining that the screen is blurry. 5.5, 5, 6.5, 4, 10. 0. Okay. Some of you aren't taking it seriously, but that's okay. Text is too small on my mobile. Well, then use a bigger screen. 8, 7.5, 7. Okay. So we've got a range of scores from about 4 up to some people give it a 9. But there's a huge difference in what most of you think. All right. I'd say most of you are saying around 6 or 7, but there's a huge range of different answers. If you ask a question to 2,951 people and most of them are given different ideas, that means most of you are wrong. So most of you, it's just a mathematical fact, most of you are wrong. Because if most of you are correct, then most of you would have one answer or in and around the same answer. There's a huge spread of answers, which means most of you are wrong. It's just it's just math. I'm not great at maths, but I do think that's correct. The reason why I did that is to prove to you that most of you have no idea what you're doing when it comes to vocabulary. But don't worry, in about 10 minutes, you will know exactly what to do. So let's go back to the lesson. I want you to look at these words. Are these words high-level words or complex words? Don't worry about writing in the comments. Just want you to look at these words and think, are they high level? Are they complex? Accountable, adolescent, advocate, allocate, aspirations, assault. And when I do this with students, most students say that these are not high level words. These are not complex words. In fact, these are C2 words, C1 and C2 words. These are the highest level of words. Most students look at these words and don't think that they are high level because they understand them. I'll repeat that because it's very, very important. Most students don't think that these are high-level words because they understand them. Most students believe that high-level words are words that they don't understand. These are also band 9 words. These are C1 and C2 words. Dual, combining two things, leadership, misuse, preliminary, and misinterpretation. If I showed you, those 3 words and I said, are these high-level words? Most of you would say no. Most of you don't think that dual is a high-level word because it's got 4 letters in it. Most of you don't think that leadership is a high-level word because you've heard it many times before and you understand it. Most of you don't think that misuse is a high-level word because, again, it is quite a short, easy to understand word. What most of you believe about vocabulary is wrong. High-level complex words are not actually complex. Do you already have a wide-ranging vocabulary? This is extremely important for you to understand. Your current vocabulary is probably good enough. The words you already know how to use are enough for you to get the score that you need. The problem is that you believe it isn't good enough. Why do you believe that? Because you are watching gurus on YouTube talk about learn these 5 high-level words, or you must use these 200 band 9 words, and there are a bunch of words you've never understood, and that convinces you that you are not good enough and your vocabulary is not good enough. Those videos are designed to get clicks. They are not designed to help you pass the IELTS test. This means that you focus on learning lists of high-level words. Again, the most common way in most schools, if you go to most local schools, they will give you lists of words to memorize. That is teaching you that your current vocabulary is not good enough, you are not good enough, and you become reliant on that school. If you focus on something that doesn't work and ignore what does work, what happens? Learning lists of vocabulary doesn't work. It doesn't help you improve your vocabulary. It doesn't help you improve your writing. So you are focusing on things that don't work and you're ignoring the things that do work. It means you're going to fail and struggle. And then when you go back to that school, they'll give you another list. They'll say, oh, your vocabulary wasn't high enough. We need more complicated words. And that's something called gaslighting. Gaslighting is a subtle form of emotional manipulation that often results in the recipient doubting their perception of reality and their sanity. It's often done in relationships when you have maybe a husband or a wife who isn't doing the best job, that they're doing bad things. And what they do is they blame it on their partner. They make their partner think that they are the problem. They manipulate them by telling them, you're not good enough, you're the problem. This is what these lists of band 9 words do to IELTS students. They're gaslighting you. They are teaching you that you are not good enough and you need to rely on them to give you these complicated things, which is bullshit. 95% or more of the students that we work with that got a 7, 8, or 9, when they started working with us, their vocabulary was fine. We didn't teach them any new vocabulary. Don't believe me? Well, what I did was I got 100 band 7, 8, and 9 essays, real essays, and I put them through software which tells you what the most common words were. More than a third of the words in band 7, 8, and 9 essays were these simple words: the, to, of, and, in, that, is, therefore, are, this, they, people, because it, more, can, be, there. 33.5% of the total number of words were just these 20 words. These are real students that really got a band 7, 8, and 9. Because what we teach our students is something called the birthday cake strategy. This birthday cake looks very fancy, but if you break it down, a birthday cake is made up of water, which is the simplest thing in the world, flour, sugar, milk, butter. These are all simple ingredients, which make up 95% of a birthday cake. 5% is just the sprinkles on top on the candle, but everyone notices the sprinkles. The birthday cake strategy is 95% of your words that you should use in your essays should be simple, everyday words that you already know. 5% might be high-level words, but as I've shown you, words like jewel and leadership and misuse and allocate, those are not very complicated words. Let me explain this in a little bit more detail. So what I did was I got all of the past Cambridge books and I looked at the good essays in the back. If you look at these books in the back, you'll find some essays that Cambridge produce, and they say these are good essays. I put that through some software from Cambridge that analyzes the level of the words in any essay or any text. This is what those good essays produced by Cambridge, the people who make the test, this is what the percentage of simple words and high-level words looks like. C1 and C2, my maths is terrible, but it's less than 4%. Less than 4% of words were high-level words. The vast majority of words were simple words. Why? Because this is what all good writing looks like. You can come into my study in my office and pick any book off any shelf. And this is what the distribution of simple to complex language will look like. Remember I showed you this essay? This is what it looks like. So I took this essay, the one that most of you said was around a band 6. That was about the average score. 2.5 and 1.89. Again, my maths is terrible, but less than 5% of the words were high-level words. Let's look at what those high-level words look like. C2 words in this essay, there are 3 C2 words: outlet, syllabus, and relieves. Most of you would look at outlet, syllabus, and relieves and think they're not very high-level words, they're C2 words. If we look at C1 words, immense, attaining, enhances. There are only 6 high-level words in this entire essay, but this student in the real test got a band 8. I think maybe even 8.5. So if I use 6 high-level words, will I get a high score? No. You aren't being judged on your ability to use C1 and C2 words alone. You're being judged on your ability to use all levels of words. This is where most gurus get it wrong. By giving you a list of high-level words, you might use 1 or 2 of them correctly, but if you use 1 or 2 high-level words correctly, but you are consistently getting A1, A2, B1, B2 words incorrect, then that's your level. Your level is not the high-level words you got lucky. It's your overall level. In other words, if you get the basics wrong, it doesn't matter if you do the complex things right. Has using lists of high-level vocabulary worked for you in the past? Most of you use this technique because this is what most teachers teach. Did it work for you? Did you get a high score? You wouldn't be watching this lesson if it did. So how do you actually get a high score for lexical resource? Just a fancy way of saying vocabulary. It's not about using complex or academic words. There's no such thing in the context of IELTS. There's no such thing as an academic word. There's no such thing as a complex word. There are words that are right and words that are wrong. Accuracy is key. Does the word mean what you think it means? And use topic-specific vocabulary. So if we were to write an essay on people moving to Mars, people going to Mars, we would probably use words like rocket, spaceship, astronaut. If you were writing an essay on whether people should eat less junk food, would you use the word rocket and astronaut and spaceship and space? No. You would use words like junk food, calories, obese. These are topic-specific words. Why are you judged on these words? Because these are the words that convey meaning and demonstrate to the examiner that you know how to use vocabulary effectively. If you just memorize a bunch of words like plethora, for example, and insert those big high-level words, they don't help you answer the question because they're not topic-specific. If you only learn one thing today, just learn this, and it's totally free. It is better to use simple words correctly than to use complex language incorrectly. If you have the choice between using a word that you're not sure about and a word that you are sure about, use the word that you are sure about because you'll get it right. And that word is probably much higher level than you really think because, again, you're being gaslit by these teachers. Remember, we talked about Michael Jordan? When asked at the end of his career, why were you the most successful athlete, maybe person, of the 20th century? This is what he said. Fundamentals were the most crucial part of my game in the NBA. What does fundamentals mean? Simple, basic things. The basics, the simple things, were the most crucial part of my game in the NBA. Everything I did, everything I achieved can be traced back to the way I approached the fundamentals, the basics, the simple things. He is doing one of the most complex things a human being can do here. Not many people in the world can do what he's doing right now. The only way he was able to do these complex things was by mastering the basics. But if you watch a whole game with Michael Jordan, he's not doing this every 10 seconds. He might do this once a game. 99% of the time, he's just doing the basics better than anybody else. And here's another quote from Michael Jordan. You can practice shooting 8 hours a day, but if your technique is wrong, then all you become is very good at shooting the wrong way. Get the fundamentals down, and the level of everything you do will rise. So you can work very, very, very hard, but if you're doing the wrong thing, then all you're doing is getting worse. Most IELTS students believe they're working hard by watching lots of YouTube videos and doing lots of practice tests and reading lots of books. You are probably doing the wrong thing over and over and over again. You're getting worse, not better. And that's exactly, if you go and look at any of our students, all of them were wasting their time doing the wrong thing. All we did was just show them that's a waste of time. That's too complicated. That's complex. Here's your problem. Simplify everything, make it easy, and then go and get the score that you need. So, if you enjoyed this lesson, feel free to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. You'll get more updates. That is the end of the lesson. I hope that you were able to learn something. We did say at the beginning of the lesson that we would have a special offer on our VIP course, but I don't really care if you join or not. If you would like more information about how to become a VIP and the special offer that we're giving you today, just on this webinar, let me know in the comments. If you don't want to spend any money and you don't want to join my course, that's totally fine. You can leave now. And let me know what you want me to do. Let me get a drink because my throat's about to give up talking too much. Would you like to know more information about the VIP course? Bada says, I've recently joined VIP and it's amazing. Well done. GTA 5 boy says no, but everybody else says yes. All right. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to tell you how to join our VIP course. I'm going to give you all the information that you need to make a decision about whether you join or not. Most of you will not join, which is totally fine. But to make it easier to join, I'm going to give you a discount and I'm going to give you a lot of bonus courses worth more than $1,000 for free. So let me tell you how to join. One thing that always happens when we offer this course is nobody listens to the presentation and then we get like 2,000 questions at the end. It's impossible for me to answer 2,000 questions. So the easiest thing, guys, is if you're serious about getting the help that you need, watch the next 20 minutes presentation and it'll answer every question that you might have about the VIP course. And then that just makes everything more efficient. And then if you still have questions at the end, I will answer them. Okay, so I think that's right. So what do we give our VIP students? The freedom to choose where you live, the job you do, and your own path in life. So our goal is to help you, or to give you the freedom to just basically decide what you want to do with your life. At the moment, you cannot do what you want with your life because of this IELTS test. We help you pass it, give you the freedom to do whatever you want to do. So in this presentation, I'm going to demonstrate that it's the most successful IELTS course in the world, because that's the one that you should join, the one that actually produces the result you're looking for. Show you how it works, give you the freedom to choose where you live and the job you do, and give you a special discount. You'll need a special link to get this discount. I'll give you the link at the end of the presentation. So we only have limited places available. So this is you on your IELTS journey. Right now, your current ability is not high enough to achieve your goal. What the VIP course does is it helps you reach your goal by teaching you the things you need to learn how to do. So we don't teach you just a general course and hope for the best. We focus in on what do you need to do to reach your goal, and then you're able to get the score that you need. So for example, let's say you are currently at a band 6.5 and you need a band 8. You might need a different score. You might be at a different score, but all of you are at a lower score right now than you need. In between your score that you're currently at and the score that you need are specific areas of weakness. What the course does is it identifies those specific areas of weakness, and then you improve them, and then you get the score that you need. Very, very, very simple. So how do we help you? You get access to our VIP step-by-step system. So every part of the test, we've broken down into step-by-step systems. You learn that system, and then you get the score that you need. That system has produced more band 7, 8, and 9 success stories than any other IELTS course in the world. And this is based on what real examiners are looking for. This is not unqualified people who don't know what they're doing. Every single part of the course has been designed and checked and verified by multiple real examiners. So everything is designed to help you give the examiners what they want. You'll understand the exact reasons why you might fail and turn weaknesses into strengths. Everything is done at your pace. There are no timetables. You are a VIP and we treat you like one. And everything is based on real student success. So every year or multiple times a year, we update the course based on what is working and what's not working for real students. Everything that we teach is based on student success. If it doesn't work, we don't teach it. If it does work, we teach it. So why are we successful? We are successful because our students are successful. The best way to sell this course is to show you that it's the most successful in the world. So our goal is to help you be successful, because if you're successful, then our course will be successful in the future. So your success and our success are linked. All right. We use all these years of success to teach you only what works. So not only are we determined to help you be successful, we are only teaching you things that have worked in the past for real students. And we apply a principled approach to teaching and how we treat our students. So how we treat our students is based on some key principles. Number one is honesty. We will be 100% honest with you. We don't care if you don't like that or not. We will tell you exactly what to do and how to fix your problems. Some students like that approach, some don't. Number two, simple. Excuse me. We make everything as simple as possible to make your job as simple as possible on test day. We don't teach any fancy tricks that don't work. We just teach you the simple, basic things that do work. Number three, we treat you like family. So if my wife was doing the test, when my wife was doing the test, we treat you exactly the same as I treated my wife whenever she was doing this test. If my son was doing the IELTS test, I will treat you the same way I would treat my son. And again, proof is in the pudding, as they say. We have more success stories than anyone else. You can go and check that out on our website. 10 times more band 7, 8, and 9 success story videos than anyone else. All of these are band 7, 8, and 9. And not only that, we have more real testimonials, all at a band 7, 8, and 9. There's literally thousands of them because we know what we're doing and we're focused on helping students. Okay, so now you know that it's the most successful course, that it's based on success. What is it? What do you get? Well, you get access to my system designed to take you by the hand, as in step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this, to help you get a band 7, 8, and 9. If you like systems, if you like step-by-step systems, then you will really love this course. And it's absolutely the fastest and most complete way to get the score that you deserve. So you get access to my digital system. Everything is online and digital. So you can access it at any time you like, whenever you like, wherever you like. Covers both academic and general training. Covers all 4 skills or just the skills you do want. Log in 24/7 wherever you are in the world. Literally step by step, we have systems for every inch of the IELTS test. And we recently updated our old VIP course to VIP 2.0. So today we're offering you the new course, which is VIP 2.0. So let me explain how VIP 2.0 is different from our old VIP course. So students thought that the old VIP course was too expensive. So the old VIP course was around $999 US to join. And most students said that was too expensive. Students also thought that there was not enough freedom on how much support they got from teachers. So the old VIP course, we gave like unlimited writing corrections and speaking tests and all of those things. And students said, like, we don't need all of these. It's too expensive and there's too much help. There's too much support. We now give students the freedom to choose how much teacher interaction they receive. So you only pay now for what you need, which makes it much, much cheaper and gives you more flexibility and more control and more freedom. And we've lowered the price by up to 80%. All right. So changing this means that you get the same course, the same help, but 80% cheaper. VIP 2.0 gives you everything you need to succeed, and you can purchase teacher feedback as optional extras, giving you complete control and freedom at a much, much, much lower price. Excuse me for coughing. Common question that we get is, how long will it take? There are no timetables. There are no time limits. We don't teach that because that doesn't work. We only teach things in a way that works. We focus on helping you get the score that you need, not on time. And we give you 3 months access. So we worked out that the average student takes between 4 to 6 weeks to complete everything. So what we've done is we've tripled the amount of time that the average student takes. So more than 99% of students get everything done within 3 months. All right. And if you're one of the 1% that need more than 3 months, then we just extend that. Okay. So what's covered in the VIP Academy? Everything. Writing, general, academic, speaking, reading, and listening. And we break each of those down into modules. So all you have to do is watch module 1, learn the system for module 1, and then do module 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Everything's broken into 12 different modules. The reason why we do that is we're teaching you our system, the VIP system. By the end of module 12, you will have learned our system because we know that our system works and improves scores. So the focus is not on helping you improve IELTS or helping you improve writing. It's teaching you our system. Then you learn that system and then you apply it on test day. And that's why we have so many successful students. And we've simplified everything so that it's easy. Just like step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this. Not only do we give you access to all of the modules, we give you all of this bonus help for free as well. So we give you all of our old challenge and workshops. You get like 7 years of these mini challenges and skills workshops. We recorded them all. You get those for free. 100 student sample essays for free. All of these at band 7, 8, and 9. 24/7 help and support. If you have any questions, you just send us an email and we answer your email. 7 years of recorded live lessons. So we recorded all the live lessons that we did with our VIP students, and they're in a bank. You can go and watch those. You'll never complete all of them, but you just pick the ones that you need extra help with. Band 9 essay bank and examiner speaking tests. So we got our examiners to write essays that are band 9, so you can model those. And I did live speaking tests with our examiners, so you can see how examiners really do answer questions. And what you'll see from those is how simple it is. A complete mindset course. So we help you with motivation, with focus, with scheduling your time, all of these things, because we understand that these things really do help you prepare for the test. Listening and reading demo classes. So we took every single different type of reading question and listening question, and we demo it, do it live and record it to show you how to use all of the systems. Complete study guides to show you what to study and what not to study. Unlimited writing practice. Full practice tests. Grammar and vocabulary courses. And English and pronunciation courses. That's included all free in your package. So we have 3 different types of course. We have VIP 2.0 writing, which covers just writing, listening, and reading. Just covers that. So if you just need help with writing, that's your best option. That's our cheapest option. VIP 2.0 covers everything. So it covers writing, speaking, reading, and listening. VIP 2.0 Plus covers everything, but you get more than $1,000 worth of extra courses included for free. That's our most popular one, and it's the best value. So I think it's just $50 extra, and you get more than $1,000 worth for free. So it's pretty much a no-brainer to join. So I've demonstrated that it is the most successful IELTS course in the world, shown you how it works, told you what you get. If the price is right, then you should be 100% sure about joining. So let's talk about price. So the first thing we're going to do is, not only will we give you a discount today, I'm going to give you more than $1,000 worth of extra courses for free if you join today on the webinar. I'm going to give you a general English course worth $500 for free, a complete grammar course with $249 for free. I'm going to give you a complete pronunciation course with $199 for free, a critical thinking course with $99 for free, and a vocabulary course with $199 for free. So you get $1,246 worth of stuff for free if you join VIP Plus, our most popular package today. You're also going to be offered not 1, not 2, but 3 guarantees. We give you a triple lock guarantee. No other IELTS course in the world gives you this level of security and peace of mind. So promise number 1, everything is 100% risk-free. So if you join today and you're not happy, tell us within 30 days and we'll give you your money back, all of your money back. Promise number 2, we will give you the same advice that I would give my family, which means we'll be 100% honest with you, especially in our feedback. A lot of IELTS courses want to be your friend and want you to like them. I don't have enough friends I don't care if you like me or not. My goal is to help you get the IELTS score that you need so that I can get another success story out of you. That means I will tell you exactly what's wrong and how to improve it. Promise number 3, we will be with you 100% until you pass. So it doesn't matter how long it takes, we will be with you to help you, to guide you until we help you get the score that you need. Again, I want a success story out of you. So another question that we get is, do you guarantee a band 7, 8, or 9? No, that is the one thing that we do not guarantee, because we do not control a few very important things. So number 1, we do not control your motivation, and we don't control your work ethic. All right. If you don't do the work, I'm not a magician. All right. I'm not Superman. I can't help you if you don't do the work. Number 2, I do not control your attitude to my feedback. Some students love my honesty. Other students, when I tell them what I think of their essay, they go and cry. And other students, whenever I tell them what they think of an essay, other essay, it's the first time they've ever been criticized in their life. So usually men, they get very egotistical and get very defensive. If you don't listen to my feedback, you will not improve. This is why the last time we opened up the test, people did fail to get a 7. One person got 6, another person got 6.5. One person, he didn't like being criticized, so he thought he knew better than us, and he did his own thing. He got a band 6. Another person, she was very busy. She was a nurse, and she didn't have time to do any of the work, so she went and did the test anyway and failed. But the rest of the people who did the test or did the work and listened to us, they got the score that they needed. But watching videos and watching me is not going to help you improve. You need to join, you need to take action. If you don't take action, nothing is going to change. And the next time you sit in the IELTS test, you're going to have the same problems. We're here to help you, but we only can help you if you help yourself. All right. Most of you won't join because most people just waste their time and would rather just watch YouTube videos. If you're one of those people, good luck, but we won't be able to help you. We're also giving you 10% off as a special offer for people who completed this webinar, because we want to work with people who show up, do the work, and by completing the webinar, you've shown us that you're the type of student that we want to work with. So we're giving you 10% off. So let me show you the prices. You need a special link. I will post this in the chat in a minute, but if you go to this page, you'll read all the information if you want. You can see what you get, and then it'll give you the prices. So VIP writing, 10% off is only $129 US for 3 months access, all the help that you need to get the score that you need with all these extra things included. VIP is kind of our middle of the road course. That's $179 today. And our flagship course, our most popular course, so you get more than $1,000 worth of extras, and it's only $224. So you get access to everything, get the score that you need for less than a cost to fail the IELTS test, which is just $224. So you need that special link. And to enroll, just click on your course, add in your email address, your address where you live, and we take credit card or debit card. And that's how you join. So I'm going to post. Someone says, God, extremely expensive. Not as expensive as failing the test multiple times. So let me. If you think hiring a professional is expensive, try hiring an amateur. So So I just posted that link for you. You'll see the link in the chat from IELTS Advantage. Click on that link. I'll also email you the link after this session. So don't worry if you don't get the link. Let me post it again. There we go. Okay, guys, let me see if I have time. I do have a little bit of time I can answer questions, but I don't have a huge amount of time because I'm setting up a new YouTube studio and I'm meeting workmen who are going to help me build that. So yeah. Um, a lot of you are saying that it's too expensive and you can't afford it. If you can't afford it, don't join. So if you have a choice between paying your rent and buying food and feeding your children, then or joining my course, pay the rent, feed your children. I don't need your money. Like really, I don't need your money. But if you're serious about getting the score that you need, this is much, much cheaper than failing the test. And it's actually one of the best investments that you'll ever make. So, because if you get the score that you need and you get a job in the UK, the US, Canada, you'll make that money back in about a day. Like that's an average salary in a day for someone in a Western country. So, those of you asking for the PDF, the people asking for it, you're not going to get it. So if you don't want the PDF, ask for it. The people who are being polite and are not okay, any sensible questions, guys, and I will answer them. Just looking for a sensible question because there are a lot of silly questions. A lot of you are saying thank you in the comments. I really appreciate your thanks, but please don't write any thank you or anything like that because it means I can't get to the questions. There's just too many comments because there's 2,000 people here. And please, there's a lot of you just writing the same question and the same comment over and over and over again. Please don't do that because it just makes it impossible to ask. And if you continue to do that, I'll just end the stream. Again, guys, I don't really care whether you join or whether you subscribe to this channel, whether you like me. It's not my job. I don't make money from you liking me. So, you know, and we only work with a really small number of students and probably enough have joined already. So stop stop asking silly questions. Okay, guys, just there's just a lot of people are just asking the same stupid question again and again and again. I have better things to do with my time. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to email you the special link, the special discount link. If you're a sensible type of person and you decide to join, then great. You can just click on that link and you can join. If you have any questions, just reply to the email with any questions, and then we'll be able to get, help the people that actually want help. To the people who are asking for the PDF, you're not going to get it. So, because I told you not to ask, the people who stay to the end and were polite, you will get the PDF and we'll email it to you. And that's it. If you have any questions, just reply to the email that I'll send you. Sorry that I couldn't answer any live questions, but life's too short to to try and sort through a bunch of nonsense. It was my pleasure teaching you today, guys. I'll send you that link. I'll send you the replay. If you have any questions, if there's anything that you need help with IELTS, just send us an email, and we'll either, if you need free help, we'll give you one of our free courses. We'll answer your question for free. If you are serious about joining the VIP course and you have a question, just send us an email and we'll help you out. I'm sorry, a small number of people have just ruined it for the rest of you. To the people that are complaining about the price and going, you're never going to pass the IELTS test anyway, so just give up now, So instead of wasting your time and people that are trying to help you for free time. All right. So if you need free stuff, go to our website, IELTSadvantage.com. You'll find a lot of free help there. You'll find a lot of free stuff. If you want to join our VIP course, the most successful course in the world, click the link, join, and I'll also email you the link now. Thanks very much, guys. And we'll also send the ebook to the people who didn't ask about the ebook, because we told you not to ask about it. All right. Thanks very much, guys. And it was a pleasure teaching you today. Thank you.